Hey everyone, my name's Walter, and we're back here with yet more stories from Reddit. In these stories, we cover relationships between people. I try to cover the stories people find interesting. We use subreddits like Reddit Relationships, and most of the stories are from Am I the Asshole? Let's just get started with relationship stories from Reddit. Am I the asshole for being mildly annoyed at my girlfriend for using one of my eggs? I eat the same breakfast every workday, 6 fried eggs and an orange. Yes, I know this is a lot of food for most people, but I weigh 300 pounds and need to be sure I don't get hungry before lunch. My girlfriend is well aware of this. She doesn't like eggs and never eats them, so it works out perfectly because each week when we go grocery shopping, I buy a 30-pack of eggs, which lasts exactly the week. 6 eggs times 5 days equals 30. I work Thursday to Monday every week. This past Sunday evening, when I had 6 eggs left in the carton for Monday morning, I was in the shower and came out to discover that my girlfriend had used one of my eggs to make a cake. I wasn't really upset with her, but I was mildly annoyed because she knows full well that I was planning to eat it for breakfast the next day. And it was too late to go back out to get more eggs. I asked her to please let me know next time we're at the grocery store she plans to need an egg that week so we can buy extra. She says that I'm being ridiculous, that it's just one egg and that she shouldn't have to plan everything ahead like that. Again, I want to emphasize that I'm not actually mad at her, just mildly annoyed. But she seems to think even that's an overreaction. Am I the asshole? It's not that it's an overreaction, it's just a dumb problem to have. Why buy the exact amount of eggs you need? What if he drops one? What if one of them has a crack in it? I don't know, I'd probably just buy the 72-pack if I ate 6 eggs every morning. It's not like eggs are expensive. Exactly right. He's getting all scrambled over his girlfriend poaching one of his eggs? I think he's cracked. His girlfriend is probably shell-shocked that this is an issue. Look on the sunny side, dude. You have a girlfriend who made cake. Just come over easy next time, OP. Egg pun. This next one is from Reddit Applying to College. Yeah, not a subreddit I've ever been on before. I tried to kiss my interviewer. Are my chances ruined? I, 17 male, had my Yale interview today. The interviewer, 25 female, was smoking hot and we really hit it off. She very clearly liked me and seemed to be giving me the look, left, right, and center. I honestly lost count of the amount of times she laughed at things that I said, and she seemed to genuinely enjoy talking to me. We ended up chatting for nearly 3 hours, and most of our conversation wasn't even remotely about Yale, just random things about ourselves. Towards the end of the interview, I had a strange urge to go in for a kiss. It's as though I completely forgot that this was an interview for college, and my desires got the best of me. I guess I completely misread the situation too, as she immediately shouted, "What are you doing?" as I was about to go in for it. I instantly apologized and we kind of ended things awkwardly then and there. I am really stressed out now about the repercussions of this. I put a lot of work into my Yale application and it would really suck if it gets fucked because of this. Am I screwed? TLDR, tried to kiss my Yale interviewer at the end of our conversation. I massively fucked up. Edit, I just emailed my interviewer and both thanked her for the conversation and apologized again profusely. Not sure if there's anything else I could do at this point. Edit 2. The fact that people think it's a shitpost is only making me realize more and more just how much I've fucked up. Okay, I went to community college, so I'm not speaking from a place of experience, but what did he think would be the outcome if he did manage to kiss her? That doesn't sound like a great scenario for the future either. I know kids don't think, but this wasn't a job interview. This is something that he worked hard for. But guys, he got the look. You can't misjudge something like that. Now he understands why women are cold to men sometimes. If they're not careful, every little thing gets interpreted as the look. This gives me confidence for my Yale interview tomorrow. No matter how bad I fuck up, I don't think I'll try to hook up with my interviewer. In a show of solidarity, everyone should try and kiss their interviewers. They can't reject everyone. Some people seem to think this guy actually got into Yale, but I obviously can't find any proof. I'm sure he got into something at least. Am I the asshole for backing out of paying for my daughter's wedding because of her demands? Well, never thought I'd be posting here. So I, 45 male, have a 22-year-old daughter, Diana, with my ex-wife Michaela. Me and Michaela divorced when Diana was 10, due to unhappiness in the relationship. I felt neglected and she felt used. Dead bedroom and some financial issues added to the stress and eventually we divorced. We have stayed on relatively good terms because of Diana. Diana is getting married in 5 months. Me and Diana have a wonderful relationship. We talk almost every day and I really like her soon-to-be husband. I agreed to pay a large portion of her wedding cost. Her mom and her now husband are paying nothing towards it besides a few cases of cheap wine. So I remarried to Kylie, 31 female, when Diana was 14. Overall, the girls got along. I never noticed any tension until our son, 6th male, was born. Diana stopped coming over as much because she didn't like babies. She has gotten past that now and will hang out with her half-brother now. As we are going over details for the wedding, I noticed my wife's name wasn't on the table next to me. I asked Diana where her stepmom's spot was. She said, "Oh, I didn't know she would be coming." I asked why she thought her stepmom wouldn't be coming. She said, assumed she would be at home watching the kid. I said, "Isn't your stepbro invited?" She kinda shrugged and said, "If y'all want him to come." She didn't even think about my side of the family. Well, then I find out she wants to walk down the aisle alongside her new stepdad. My ex remarried 4 years ago to a guy with a 10-year-old son, so she wanted us both to walk her down the aisle. Which I found ridiculous because this guy showed up in her life at 18 and has hardly raised her like I have. Then I found out she has her stepbrother involved in the wedding and not her son. She couldn't even answer why she did this. She also said she wanted her stepdad to do half the father-daughter dance, right after she dances with her mom. I asked if Kylie was going to be involved at all in the wedding, and she said no. She will be seated at the back with our son. Which I found disrespectful because Kylie literally helped raise Diana and was always there for her. Kylie had been in Diana's life since 12 years old and has always treated her like a daughter. At this point, I told Diana that I would no longer be funding this wedding, as I felt like me, her stepmom, and her half-bro were being disrespected. She started crying, calling me petty, and saying they won't be able to pay for it themselves. I said, well, maybe your stepdad can pony up a little more than a few cases of wine, or your mom could figure something out. My ex-wife called me and said I'm being an asshole. I told her to pony up her man's money if she has such an issue with it, or shut up. Because I feel like I have to look out for all members of my family. Not just Diana. Am I the asshole? His new wife is closer in age to his daughter than to him, and he calls them both the girls. Gross. Yeah, that was weird. He's not the asshole based on what we've been told. I have no idea how someone expects their wedding to be mostly paid for by someone else. It's like if you can't afford it, either don't get married or do it cheap. But people are thinking that there must be details left out of this. And I know I wouldn't have respected a 21-year-old step-parent when I was 12. Fucking hell. This post reeks of missing reasons. On the face of it, he isn't the devil, but I bet there's a hell of a lot of background he's missing out to make it seem like it isn't that way. The age gap, the fact that the daughter also sees step-parent as a parent, the dislike of one step-sibling but not the other. I'd be interested to know the full story. Yeah, we may never know on this one, but still feel free to comment with what you think about the story. I'll be reading them. Here's another food-related story. Pretty easy one to answer though. Am I the asshole for putting a lock on my deep freezer? I, 25 female, live in a small neighborhood where we all get along with each other rather well. Me and my neighbors often tend to have little cookouts or gatherings in our yards to celebrate various holidays, or just to let the kids hang out in general. However, with summer heat, we haven't done many hangouts like this. It's usually just the kids playing outside now. I tend to get worried that they'll overheat out there, so I decided to use the extra deep freezer I had and fill it with ice creams and popsicles for the kids and put it outside so that they'll have something to cool down with. I left a note on the freezer telling them it's okay to take more than one, just be mindful of others and don't take too many. This worked out great. The kids listened to the note I left, and some of my neighbors even pitched in to refill the freezer whenever it started getting empty. All was well. That was until a new family moved in. Their kids would always take way too much, sometimes even taking whole boxes of popsicles, or one too many ice creams. Even the parents would come and snatch a few. I went to their door and told them that they had to slow down because it was getting to the point where the freezer would run out too fast, and the other kids would be left with none. They said they understand and that they'll tell their kids to slow down. I went home after that. Lo and behold, there the parents are the next day, about to take multiple boxes of ice cream. I went outside and stopped them, telling them to put them back. They complained about it for a while, but eventually put them back. I was beyond annoyed with this, and I wanted to find a way to work around this situation. I didn't want to stop filling the freezer because I wasn't about to punish all the kids for something one family did. Instead, I decided to get a clasp lock on the freezer. I called up my other neighbors and explained this to them. They all agreed with me, so I went and bought the lock and put it on the freezer the same day. I also brought multiple keys for it and gave them to all my neighbors except for that one family. I would personally unlock it myself if their kids wanted an ice cream or popsicle. I didn't want to exclude their kids because I didn't like the thought of them watching everyone else have ice cream/popsicles while not having any themselves. I guess they must have told their parents that, because a few days later I had both of them banging on my door and yelling about how I'm making them seem like thieves to the other neighbors, and calling me overdramatic bitch for locking the freezer. I simply told them that I gave them a warning, but they didn't listen, so now they gotta deal with the consequences of their actions. So Reddit, am I the asshole for putting a lock on my deep freezer? Wow, this is infuriating. These people are fucking scumbags. They can't even blame their kids because they were over there stealing snacks for their kids. I know it might not legally be stealing, but they knew what they were doing. If you don't want to look like a thief, maybe you shouldn't take things that don't belong to you. Not the asshole. Their parents clearly haven't taught them to be considerate and keep enabling the shitty behavior they obviously learned from them. There is a fun saying, you teach people how to treat you. They're just hiding their embarrassment, but we're fine trying to move boxes of ice cream they didn't pay for from communal freezer to their own home, probably being smug about how they played the system. Seriously, I would die of mortification if I was caught red-handed with boxes of ice cream when I was a grown-ass adult. Oh, I had second-hand embarrassment just reading that. And then they have the audacity to call the OP a bitch. That is beyond pathetic to me. Not to mention they had the audacity to do this in broad daylight. They could have done it in the middle of the night, but they felt so entitled to it that they didn't care who saw them and felt that they had done nothing wrong. Not the asshole. Okay, one more short story and then let's call it a day. Am I the asshole for making my date split the bill after 1 month? I, male 19, went on a date with a girl, female 19, after about 3 weeks of texting. We had good chemistry and I found our conversations interesting. I dropped hints about splitting for the date and I think she was fine with it. When we met, we went to eat lunch together and I paid the bill. She straight up asked me how much she owed me and I said she could transfer the money later. I kept the receipt from the meal. Her food cost around $15, $17 if you include tax and service charge. We went to her church where I met her youth group and it was nice. They had this reflection session where we all sat in a circle and they asked what we were currently pursuing in life and I pointed to her. She didn't seem to realize, but the other youths looked very shocked. After the youth service, we went for dinner with her youth group and she seemed very quiet. She walked me to the bus stop and implied she would buy me food for the second date. However, after the date, she was obviously less interested and curt with her answers. After a period of not talking, I decided to cut my losses and send her a picture of the receipt with a calculation of what she owed me before sending the message to her. She had sent me the money and wished me well, but when I tell this story of my first date, other people seem less than impressed or think that I'm being stingy. Am I the asshole? Edited to add, I asked her to pay me when I realized there wasn't going to be a second date. If we did go on a second date, she would have paid for the food and it would have been fine. Oh man, I'm not the most knowledgeable about youth group, but if everyone was shocked about the strange thing he did, maybe that was the issue rather than splitting the bill. Not the asshole for the money thing, but I don't think that's why she's upset. You embarrassed her at church. Anyway, that is about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, make sure you let me hear it in the comments. I will be reading those, at least while the video is new. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more of the same. Big thanks also to my awesome patrons and new patron Alberto2001. Thanks so much, it really helps me be able to do this YouTube thing. I'll be back to shout them all out by name in the next video probably, which I am working on already. We've got a lot to talk about in the near future. Well, have a great day everyone, and make sure you've got exactly 6 eggs in your fridge for tomorrow morning. 5 just will not do.